here, girl. I know you think it's a game, but it is absolutely not, okay? This is the energy supplement from Just Move Supplements. That's right. It's damn near all gone, girl. And that's because I had to get that energy up so I can complete the workout, so I can give y'all this body, this transformation, get into it, okay? And I'm done working out now, so that's why we're moving on to the protein shakes. Oh yes, it's already in there, girl. It's already made right here. This is the mixture of the banana pudding, the chocolate cake, and the buttercream cupcake. And you really want to be fancy, you can go ahead and add that blueberry muffin if that's what you want to do, girl. But for me, it's these three right here, okay? You put that with some almond milk, you mix it all up in honey, okay? Your muscles have gained life, new energy, agility. Get into it, okay? Just Move Supplements. Thank you very much. Hold up, Chief. Okay, don't forget about that TLC NutriBurst to get that multivitamin power, because we all need a little extra. And child, if you want that sea moss that go down smooth, don't come up rough, okay? Get into the TLC Nautica sea moss. Yes, get that from me. And child, if your stomach hurt and you need to move some things around so you can be free, okay, go ahead and get that ISO tea down below in the description box. Get it all from me. Come on in, come on in, come on in, not come on in, not come. Sorry, y'all know I'm weird, whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. So let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video, right?
Hey y'all, what's going on, everybody? What is that? Look and see what it is. Huh? It might be your pillow. Even though I just ordered it last night. Probably not. Yeah, nah. What is that? Hi. What's going on, you guys? We're back for scripted. Huh? Is that? Oh, yes. For when you finish my desk. Yes. What's going on, everybody? Y'all, I was rushing. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm happy to see y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. I appreciate you guys. Okay, Renardo, Purely Terry, Lisa, thank you for moderating. Robin, Gigi, The Don, Keisha, Rena, Stephanie, Portia, Kayla, Yaya. Thank y'all so much for coming through. And everybody else that's here and everybody else that's catching a playback. Child, you know what I said, girl. Hey, Sammy. Yes, y'all. Thank God it's Friday. You know, for people who work regular jobs and are off on the weekends. It's the weekend, baby. And we're about to get into scripted TV. That's what we're about to get into. Y'all have been waiting for this. And so I won't leave you, okay, much longer. Okay, where are the notes for This Is Us? Let's see. Okay. Oh, did I not email them? Is that what this is? Y'all hold up, because I thought I had them on here. And I think that I might have made all my This Is Us notes on my other phone, child. When I do that, child, sometimes Android be acting stupid, but I still prefer it. Okay, I like my stylus. But yeah, y'all, we're about to get into it. I thought the episodes were really good. I was about to give up on All American Homecoming, but it was actually really good. The few episodes, the 3 episodes that I had to watch. And we're gonna try to like compress all of this shit. That's what we're gonna try to do. For all of the shows, because y'all know it's like 3 episodes per show. Thank you. This is my shirt from the Smoke and Grooves Fest. Okay. All right. So let's see. Thanksgiving, past Rebecca child cooking. Okay. So let's start here. The first episode from This Is Us that I want to talk about was the Thanksgiving episode. So we see Rebecca as a child cooking with her mom. Her mom, I don't think I talked to y'all about this, right? Like her mom never like ate a piece of pie her entire life. I think I talked to y'all about this one. Did I talk to y'all about this one? Y'all tell me. Those of y'all that watch the scripted TV reviews, because these notes say the 12th. But I think I told y'all about. No, I didn't. Right? I don't think I did. The Thanksgiving episode. Y'all not answering me, so I'm gonna just go ahead and run it right quick. Hold up. Yeah, I did. Okay. Kevin says there's space. He doesn't know what to do. Right. Okay. Yeah. No. That's what I'm saying. Like as I'm reading it, I'm like, no, I did this one. But those are notes from the 12th, so I must have done that one before I left. Okay. So here we are. Kevin takes the twins to the cabin on a flight. It was terrible, just like homegirl Madison knew it would be. Okay, but Kevin is constantly trying to prove that he's a real father, real man. You know, he wants to be like Jack. He's always trying to make sure he's as close to Jack as he can possibly be, and he wants to make sure he's not fudging up the kids. Okay, so Nikki, his new old lady, Vanessa Bell Calloway, and Cassidy, who is now in charge of the construction of the new cabin mansion and all of the shit that they're building over there on that land. Cassidy is helping him build it. Her son Maddie is also there. So this relationship between Kevin and Cassidy, y'all know I call Cassidy Once Upon a Time because she used to be on Once Upon a Time. So just know that I'm probably going to revert back to calling her Once Upon a Time. Okay. But she's busting her ass to help build this new house. And Kevin bites her head off because she made some type of mistake, didn't look something up, whatever. And she ended up having to correct what she did and do some drilling and just correct some things, and it just taking a little longer. And Kevin was feeling away. Kevin is like mad that there was a setback in the build. Kevin is still annoying the shit out of us throughout this episode with that guitar. Like, cut it out. Must you annoy everyone all the time and then act like you're not begging for attention? Like, Kevin's just always annoyingly begging for attention with everything he does. And it's like, can you just be? Can you just be? You know? Anyway, Cassidy got into like this really bad car accident. Sounds like she did it on purpose. Okay. Nikki had to tell Kevin to just be there for her and bag the fuck back, because he has a tendency to, when he's trying to be there for someone because he doesn't know what to do, he overdoes shit. He tries to control. He tries to, you know, do all these things that in essence can make the moment more so about him trying to make you happy than you just needing to be comforted. So Nikki tells him, you know, bad back and just be there for her. And you need to remember what her life was like before she came home. She was a soldier, and she was used to being in these areas with the people who live there and telling them, if you give us this information or if you do this, we'll protect you, and then having to leave those people behind to die. She feels guilty. She is constantly in a state of self-punishment, okay? Which is why I feel like she should just go ahead and be with Kevin so that you can, you know, that's a way of punishing yourself. Be with Kevin for the rest of your life. I'm just saying. Cassidy gets out of the hospital, and Kevin has set up a room for her in the main cabin, like showing her he wants to take care of her. The whole nine, right? She was just kind of looking like, all right, I guess this is cute. You know, Cassidy is never that impressed by Kevin, thank God, because Kevin will constantly try so hard for her approval. It's hilarious. Kevin finds out how well Cassidy's team is. Apparently, Cassidy hires other veterans and people from her own squad to come on and do the construction at Kevin's place. So because they worked so well and Kevin was so happy with the result, you know, as time went on, them fixing the issues and doing a great build so quickly, he decides that he wants to contract them to do other building, you know, opportunities, which we're not exactly sure what that's going to turn into. But this is another way for Kevin to do a good deed. Let's help the veterans work. And this is also going to endear him to Cassidy. Like, you know, some act of selflessness that's genuine. She's going to be watching him being a good guy without actually, you know, wanting to be seen for it. And then she's going to fall in love with him, and boom, bow, pow, we'll have Cassidy and Kevin torturing each other for all of eternity. Let's just wait and see. But that's my prediction, you know. So throughout these episodes, y'all, that I missed that I'm going to talk about, like, it's so funny that I ended up missing these 3 episodes, because all of these 3 episodes kind of were working in tandem, where I felt like they were the point of view of each kid, like the same scenarios, the same time frames, but just with a different perspective. Kevin's perspective, Kate's perspective, and then Randall's perspective, right? So one of the main things that we kept seeing was this pool. When the kids were younger, like, around 7, 8, 9, I don't know, probably more around 7, they had taken swimming lessons, but Randall was the only one that finished the swimming lessons and actually learned how to swim. Kevin and Kate, they didn't want to do it. They quit. And so now we're at the pool, and Randall has to go off with the rest of the class and prove that he can, he's a good swimmer and he can get certified to be, on the deep end of the pool. And so he had to go through a couple of tests. And the whole time he was going through those tests, you got Kevin wanting to jump into the deep end, but not learning how to swim. And Jack basically low-key letting him see how it feels to not be able to swim in some water. Since you want to jump in the deep end so bad and fucking drown, I'm going to be right here and I'm going to let you flail for a while so you can see what it feels like when you get in that water and nobody's there to help you, and you can't push yourself off the bottom of the pool to the top. So Rebecca was all upset. He's a kid. No, he needs to learn. Like, I honestly feel like Jack should have done a lot more tough love with Kevin, because Kevin has been coddled in the most annoying fucking way. You know what I'm saying? So you got him over there being destructive and shit. All right. So then we hop, skip, and jump to when they were in college, and Kevin has just ruined his relationship with Sophie. He's drinking. He's being self-destructive. And he goes down to that pool to drink and, break and enter, Police are eventually going to show up, and Randall and Kate are there. And of course, every time something happens, I'm always so scared for Randall. Like, every time I'm always so scared for Randall, right? And another thing, Kate, you work on my nerves. Like, I'm so tired of Kate and her scary, I don't want to do shit, thing. Like, even as a kid, when they were trying to get her to swim, she was too scared to even get in the water. Too scared to even get in the water. And Jack, was holding her. He was like, why don't you want to let go, Bug? And she was like, why would I want to ever let go? And she grabs onto him. And it's supposed to be cute, but really it's a testament to y'all making those 2 children very codependent. And if it were not for the fact that Randall saw himself as physically different, he would have been codependent as well. But he saw himself on the outside of y'all because of his blackness. So he was able to not have that same codependency. It was just like, wow, Kevin and Kate, y'all really work on my nerves, especially standing against Randall. Like, you know what I'm saying? Randall, the competent. Randall, the responsible one. Randall, the one that always, does it and doesn't, flail in the fucking wind or try to jump ahead of learning how to swim, That's very much the makeup of how everybody acts. So I thought it was very interesting that they showed us this pool situation. So like I said, they go to the pool back when they were in college, and Kevin is drinking and shit. And, woe is me. And then Kate, woe is me. And then Randall is woo, woo, woo. And then it's like, okay, let's get the fuck out of here. And then they realize they're locked in. Randall hops over first. Kev hops on top and tries to help Kate's ass get up there. Okay. And of course, as soon as she struggles even the tiniest of bit, she gives up. She wasn't even that big, y'all. This was not Kate at her biggest at all. It was just a little bit of weight. Yeah, she had gained a little bit of weight, but girl, you could have still climbed that fence. And I felt like she had it in her mind, I'm too big to climb this fence. No, you were not. I've seen bigger bitches flip over fences without even like the climb. It's like wop, wop, bow. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it done before. I mean, those girls were black, but that's not the point, okay? The point is Kate is constantly in this space of feeling sorry for herself and fear of everything, and it is obnoxious as shit, especially when it ends up getting them stuck about to get arrested because her ass would, no, I'm not going to jump over. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. Okay, bitch. So now the police roll up and Randall has to go and talk to the police officers, which is the one police officer, which thank God the police officer was a regular thinking human being and not, one of you racist hyped up jackasses that are looking to hurt a black kid, especially when you see him dressed in nice clothing with his two white siblings and you're wondering what the fuck is going on here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that situation could have went so different. And when he walked up on that cop and that cop was like, whoa, I was like, oh my God, Randall, please don't get shot. Like, I know Randall isn't going to get shot, but in the moment, my heart was beating out of my chest. I was so annoyed with Randall for once again putting himself in front of the two white kids as if they were, you know, they wouldn't be seen as less, you know, less scary. You know what I'm saying? So I just, Lord, that moment made me mad. But then Randall ends up talking to the cop, explaining that everybody's just having a hard time since their dad died. And he gets them out of the situation by the grace of God, okay? By the grace of the dead, you know, parents in heaven looking out for Randall. Thanks, Jack. And you know, the mama, I don't know when the mama died. The mama didn't die when he was a teenager, I don't think. She had died, you know, I don't know when she died. I think she died when he was grown. Yeah, that the situation definitely could have went far left. Kate and Toby. So Kate and Toby are trying not to divorce. He takes her to see a house in, y'all, where is he? San Francisco? I think he's in San Francisco. So and she's in LA. And he takes her to look at this beautiful house that he already got them pre-approved for. And it even has a mother-in-law suite for Miguel and Rebecca. And Kate is overwhelmed. It's too much. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. And I'm like, Kate, are you really finding issue with your big fine ass husband looking all good in front of you, bringing you to a house and saying, I want to buy us this house? I'm not saying I would have rushed to say yes either if I felt like my career, my passion was in another place. But I damn sure would not shoot him down in such a negative way, because I think it's a blessing for him to even be able to provide that for you. Like, I don't know why, but I just feel like Kate really doesn't appreciate the man that Toby is trying to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, she really, really doesn't. Okay. Then she, you know, does the self-pitying thing because they were waiting for an Uber and Toby was like, you know, oh, they canceled, let me get another one. And she was like, if it's just up the block, we can walk. And he was like, it's kind of uphill, it's a lot, you know. And she looks uphill and then, you know, feels bad and I guess got mad at him about that. But I'm like, bitch, I wouldn't have wanted to walk up that hill in a dress and heels if I was going to a party. Like, I don't want to be sweating before I go to the party. So no, bring the car around, Charles. Like, no. I feel like she looks for every opportunity to be mad at him. You're right. She doesn't have a career. She's not staying at that school because she wants to teach blind and deaf children music, because she can do that anywhere, especially in San Francisco. I'm sure there are like great schools that she could have applied for. She wants to stay for that man and she know it. I don't know why she fooling herself. Okay. But anyway, they go to the party and then Kate finds out that Toby turned down a job in Los Angeles. And he, you know, has to explain himself to her because she's all upset and shit. And he says that it was 2 weeks ago, first of all. And they were offering way less money. And then, you know, all of the shit that he would have had to do, it just, he likes his position in San Francisco. He likes the people he works with in San Francisco. He likes the money he's making in San Francisco. That he probably likes San Francisco. He's happy with the job, Kate. And the truth of the matter is, you should be happy for him and you should want to move with him because you love him. He's your husband and y'all have kids together. And this is what happens when your husband is the breadwinner and his career takes him to another place. Like, I just don't understand why she always has to be so negative with him when it's all of these good things. And I understand her being upset about the Los Angeles thing, but you could have at least had a conversation with him before you tripped out, left the party and blew up like you did. Okay. And then we find out that really Kate wants the old Toby. Throughout the episode, she's talking to old, fat, self-deprecating, fucked up hair, no beard, Toby. Like, why do you want that version of him? So you can feel better about yourself? Like, is that what it is? Because you don't feel good about yourself and you're seeing him surpassing you. Now you want old Toby back so you can feel better about yourself, even though new Toby got money, a job, confidence, is happy, and looks good. Girl, what the fuck are we talking about? Kate doesn't like that he's different. And he feels like she likes, she likes life without him. She feels like she has purpose and she's happy and he's happy, but they're just not happy together. And Kate tells her boss, her future husband, that she wants the permanent position that just opened up at the school. So you were for play at that fucking job until Toby presented you with a life in San Francisco, and now you want to stick your feet in the fucking sand in Los Angeles, Kate? I know she was having this moment where she feels like she's finally doing something for herself, and I hope that's what it is. I hope this all leads to happiness for you, Kate, but you are exhausting. You are literally exhausting. So we didn't even really see Randall in the other pool scenes, and I thought that was interesting. That during Kate and Kevin's episodes and their portions of the pool scene, we never even saw Randall, if I can recall. He's the only one of the kids that can swim, and he's the only one of the kids that was looking back at everybody else while he was at the pool. And it almost made me feel sad. Like, is anybody, paying attention to him? Is anybody, caring for him? But it's like, because Kate and Kevin are so needy, Randall can't even get the attention of good job, babe, when he's jumping in and out of the water and shit, because they have to focus on you two non-swimming assholes. I'm sorry, y'all. So then we get to present day. And Randall just found out that Rebecca has decided to make Kate in charge of her estate and all of that if anything happens to Miguel. And that made Randall feel away, because we all know Randall has been her BFF and the one that takes care of her and handles everything this entire time. So yeah, he was crying and feeling away. And then here come teenage asshole Deja coming downstairs saying that she hates him because he told Malik to break up with her. Then he says Malik isn't good enough for his daughter. Like, at the end of the day, he's not good enough for you. And then she reminds him that he is not her father. She is not his daughter. Tess and Annie are. She's just the girl that he took from her mother. I said, wow, Deja, you cut him deep. Randall doesn't care, though. Randall knows what it's like to be an adoptive kid, so he took it on the chin, okay? Then she ran away. So when Randall goes after her, he threw a little shot at Rebecca. Rebecca was like, everyone, let's just calm down and just, think about this before we go running out after her. And, Randall throws a shot at her about, yeah, mom, let's just leave everything to Kate, right? Because she's the one that's been handling shit. It had nothing to do with what we were talking about, but it was a shot, okay? It was a shot. And so Rebecca said, Miguel, get my bag. I'm going with him. Put me in the car. Let's go. I was just like, well, all right, come on now, Rebecca. Rebecca said, you're not about to play with me like this, Randall. So they go on this little mini road trip, all right? But we go back to when everybody was young adults again, and Randall got them out of jail time. He also got his mom some smiley face cookies to make her feel better about Miguel leaving town. Because y'all remember Thanksgiving, Rebecca found out that Miguel was leaving, and that made her very sad, and she was kind of distraught. And Randall was like, this is the last thing my mom needs is for us to get arrested, so let me save her. He had already left the cookies for her. Like, he's just always been the one that's taking care of her. So we see how difficult this is for him, right? Because it's like, how you gonna like shade me like that? I'm the one that always does everything. Kate is always too scared to do any fucking thing, and then Randall is still ignoring the calls from that other senator. And of course, Rebecca asked him about it. And when he finally decides to share, he says that he has an opportunity to become a senator, but he doesn't know if it's the right time or if it's even what he wants. And so they end up talking, right? Rebecca tells Randall that she can't let him give up his life for her again the way he did after Jack died. He didn't go to the school he really wanted to go to so that he can stay close to her and take care of her. And she says, I've watched you do that your entire life and I can't do that to you anymore. I want you to do everything you want to do. And honestly, I was like, you know what? Rebecca, I'm so glad you decided to get in the car and take this ride with him, because I honestly understood how Randall felt. But this is what's real. What's real is that you've always done the most. Let them do something. Okay? Let Kate ass handle it. All right? She ain't got shit going on like that. Yeah, she got kids and all of that, but let her handle it. All right? I appreciated the reason why she decided to not allow it to be him again. And so then they go and get Deja, and it seems as if Malik is mad, but Malik tells Randall when he pulls up, I didn't break up with her because of you. I did it because I love her so much. Yeah, you did it because you realized Randall was right and that she does deserve better. She does deserve more. And it's not fair to either one of you. And that's what Randall had been saying from the very beginning. Now, Randall did give him the advice that, sometimes these things circle back around. And they do. So don't worry about it that much, okay? You and Deja might find y'all way back to each other eventually, but right now she needs to focus on her and you need to focus on you, so that eventually if y'all do come together, y'all are two whole human beings instead of one person trying to be codependent on the other and vice versa. When they got in the car, Deja apologized to him and said that she's sorry and that she was wrong and that Randall is her father. And he tells her that he loves her. You know what I'm saying? Like it, oh Lord, y'all. That moment did it for me because like I love Randall for the way he loves and treats Deja. And they were sitting in the car and Rebecca was like, it's just all so crazy. And he was like, what? She was like, everything. And it's true. This is literally a grandmother, a father, and a child, a daughter, and none of them are biologically related. And it's all of the love in the world, like in these people. The way Rebecca loves Randall and Randall loves Rebecca, the way Randall loves Deja and the way Deja loves Randall. And it's so funny because I honestly feel like the same thing that happened with Randall and Rebecca is going to happen with Randall and Deja, meaning that Deja is going to be the closest kid to Randall by the time they become adults. By the time, like, y'all remember the scene when we go to the future and everybody's coming to the cabin to see Rebecca, and Rebecca was, full white hair in the bed and everything. Y'all remember that? We still haven't seen Kate in that scene. Y'all know that, huh? We still haven't seen Kate in that scene. We've seen Toby, we've seen Beth, we've seen the girls, we've seen Kevin and the twins. You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait to see how that last scene plays out. But I remember when they all were pulling up, the one that he kind of hugged and talked to the longest was Deja. So it just kind of put that in my mind that this type of relationship is going to persist with this, the adoptive parent, the adoptive kid being closer to the parent than the biological kids. Like that's funny to me. But yeah, y'all, let me read some of y'all comments and then we'll move on to All American and All American Homecoming. Yeah, she was wrong for that. Teens be fucked up. This episode had me all in my feelings. So many moments that happened where I was on the verge of tears or shed a few. Deja's comment was one of them, shaking my head. Randall gave up going to Howard to take care of his mom. Yep. That day sucked for Randall. We got a love for Becca for hopping in that car with her son. When she was like, Miguel, get my bag. Come on, let's go. I was like, if that ain't some black mama shit, if I've ever seen it, I was just like, I love that moment because I think sometimes, like, especially for the black people watching this show, you always feel the outsideness that Randall feels. But then the closeness he had with Rebecca, and it's so funny because at first Rebecca really didn't know how to feel about him. But Rebecca fucking breastfed Randall. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your mama at the end of the day. And you know the way we have been seeing these white women that adopt black children on the internet and how terrible they are. And even seeing a lot of biracial kids now that are adults talking about how their parents are racist. And, you know, they have children with black people and then talk to the children like, you know, they're not seen in the world as black, you know? So I think a lot of that is buzzing around in our energy right now when we watch this show. So to see Rebecca leaning into, no, that is my child. Like, I love him in the same and in a real way, just like I love Kevin and Kate's fucked up ass. Probably a little bit more because he's easier to deal with. Okay. But I definitely, you know, I definitely felt that in my whole chest. You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen Miguel in those scenes either. Because remember, Miguel was about to leave. That's why. I understand Randall being hurt by Rebecca's decision, but Rebecca was right. Yeah, she was, Kate, because these boys would have been at each other's throats, and it is time for someone else to step up. I agree. I wish they show more of the future stuff. I think they will eventually. I think they probably saving the end of this season for that since it's the last season. Sometimes you do get to choose your family and they are family. And I love that. I love that. It came full circle. Yes. I love This Is Us for that. For the, you know, the full circleness of it all. Okay. Hold up, y'all. Give me a sec. All right, I'm back. Okay, sorry, y'all. We had to figure out what's going on with the food. Okay, what are we gonna eat? Nigga hungry. Okay. Oh, you mean in the future scenes, right? I think Miguel dies because it's Nikki that is by her side in the future. Miguel probably did die. Oh, that's gonna break my heart. Let's not even do that. Okay, let's not even go into that. I don't feel like being sad right now, y'all. So let's get into All American, right? So Billy is the interim principal and Preach is the muscle. There is a possible principal coming in, and Grace tells Billy, don't get Preach's hopes up because they're not supposed to allow felons on school grounds in the first damn place, let alone let them be a teacher. But I feel like that's a mistake. I feel like that's a mistake, especially for schools in the inner city, because y'all not letting felons come and teach when they have turned their lives around and can help these kids is stupid, considering the fact that a lot of them only respect street shit. So if you got somebody like Preach that's street but got a good heart and is trying to clean his life up, you give him an opportunity and he can keep these kids in line, talk to them in a way other people can't talk to them, and ultimately be a benefit to your school because he understands the kids in a way that the other teachers don't, because the other teachers aren't in street shit. And the kids a lot of the times are in street shit, whether they're street people on the grounds or not. Okay. Preach actually was teaching the boys Shakespeare and telling Billy to think about the school like a coaching job. Like, he was absolutely filling that position in a great way. I think he would be a really, really good vice principal, especially if you think about what vice principals are for, which is to back up the principal, to make sure everybody stays in line, and that can also teach a few classes here and there. Okay. Billy wants to be the principal for real, though. At first, it seemed like it may have just been something to do, but as time goes on, I think he starts to get excited about it the way he gets excited about football. and he wants to move to his dad's house in Crenshaw to keep the gig since GW went down to Florida. So Spencer still isn't cutting it in college. He thinks that the main coach just doesn't see it for him. But his, like, y'all know they got the special teams coaches, and his specific coach checks him and tells him that he needs to get his ego all the way together. All right. Because you think because you was popping in high school and what worked for you in high school should work for you in college. But no, because these are the kids that are just as good as you. Now you're not playing against, maybe one or two big kids that, play as good as you by yourself, on teams and all of that. Every once in a while, you might come into contact with the Cam and, those other kids that play exceptionally well at other schools. But that's not the same thing as joining a team full of exceptional people that you have to outshine in order to catch your spot. So Spencer is definitely going through the freshman, aches and pains, trying to find the balance between school and playing ball and excelling at playing ball coming out of high school, which is a transition for your ass. Okay. So what ends up helping him is JJ teaching him how to meditate. I was just like, JJ, like, it's crazy to me, JJ's cool white savior thing that happens, and it's not white savior in a bullshit way. He's literally living his life, being amazing, looking moisturized and tanned, smiling and being a light in the world, and just positively affecting his friends whenever they'll listen to him. Like, you gotta love JJ, bruh. You really, really do. And can I say how nice all of the young men look with their beards? Like, all of the young men on the show have gotten beards. And when I tell you, thank y'all for that. Because I know a lot of you niggas is my age. So thank you so much for that. All right. So Olivia sponsee Jen went missing, and Spencer didn't have time for her because he was trying to figure out how he was going to fix shit at school. So they ended up getting into it, right? Olivia and Jordan, I believe, end up finding Jen at the cafe, and she didn't want to go back to school because she's been clean all summer, and then she realized that she's about to go back to school with the kids who she does drugs with, and that can be a little tough. So she's scared to relapse. After, Olivia talks to her and gives her, the you'll be okay and, whatever else she needed to hear to send her on her way and send her ass back to school, she calls Spencer. And Spencer, after Olivia calls Spencer mad that he couldn't be there for her until he tells her that the coach told him that he never wanted him on the team in the first place. And, she's like, yeah. I mean, he's like, I'm sorry. Spencer was like, but yeah, no, worry about Jen. Worry about Jen. You do that, and I'm gonna be over here trying to save my fucking life. Okay, thank you. So I was just like, whoa, Spence, calm down. But after JJ taught him how to meditate, of course, he came through with a nice little dinner and apologized, and y'all know they fucking, so they'll be okay. Asher was trying to not trying, but actually went and met with the coach at Coastal California to try and get on the student coaches program, right? JJ brings him to practice with him to help in that, because coach for Coastal California again is Mrs. Coach Montez's husband, Mr. Coach Montez. Okay. And he gave Asher a tape to watch. Asher watched the tape 2 or 3 times. He noticed things, but he didn't notice what the coach was trying to get him to notice. But it was good enough for the coach to tell him to keep trying. So Asher is on his way to doing the coach thing, which we're very happy for, right? Layla is in the studio with JoJo. And JoJo has been pushing Layla to think about working on a major label. Layla has been playing it safe, and she has a lot of walls around her, and she's constantly in a space of trying to protect herself. And sometimes she needs people to push her to take risk. Okay. And so she admits that she does want the full empire, and now she's going to go for it. And I think that that's a good thing for her. But I also feel like homegirl needs to break some of them walls down, because I'm scared for what Layla can turn into if she doesn't ground herself emotionally. Right now, it feels like she's doing everything to not deal with her emotions, and she thinks it's like maturity. But really, it's you piling your work and other shit on top of your feelings. And eventually, you're either going to turn into an alcoholic, you might end up killing yourself like your mom. Like, who knows what could happen if you don't start to deal with your emotions now. So it worries me about Layla. Asher's beard is a vibe. He really, child, didn't he? I said he was giving a John B vibe. He was giving like white boys that's friends with black people. They line their shit up differently. I don't know what that's about. So a cop shows up questioning patients about Coop. And Laura had to come in and tell him that if he wants to converse with her client again, he can reach out to her. And Patience tells Laura everything that happened with Coop lying to the police about Preach, saying that she shot Mo, not that Preach shot Mo. We all know that Preach shot Mo as soon as Mo shot Coop. Okay, so it was a whole self-defense thing, and we never understood why Coop decided to lie, but Coop wanted to protect Amara, which is Mo and Coop's daughter, from hating both of her parents. Okay. Laura says that she will make some calls and see if there's something that she can do about it, which means Laura is taking on the case. Okay. It's so nice to have a nice white lady lawyer at the house. Preach tells Coop that, Preach tells Coop, Patience, and Spencer that Laura is an op, and Preach got rid of all of the evidence. So if Coop just stays quiet and true to her story, then they're all good. I said, not Laura being an op. Laura is not an op. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? I'm about to start smacking people, okay? Y'all, then we got the new possible principal lady with her short haircut and her Regina vibe. Y'all know from the Steve Harvey show. Okay, it's giving Miss Piggy. She came through, with like real big dick energy. She's set to replace Billy. She came in hot. She sat in his chair. She tells him that she's coming for those keys. I said, all right, Miss Piggy. All right, it's definitely giving Regina Greer. That's what it's giving. It's giving Principal Regina Greer. Okay. So Layla's dad comes back and he's stepping down from some of his duties at the label, and she thinks that he's dying until Jordan talks her off the ledge. They go to dinner and he tells her that he's met a woman closer to his age, thank God. And this scares Layla because it means that he's finally being serious about a woman, and he hasn't been serious about a woman since her mother passed away. Jordan reminds her that it is a blessing, okay, first of all, for her father to be dating somebody his age, and also she needs to approve this for him. That's probably the reason why, Layla hasn't met the woman. So she gives her dad her blessing and realizes that Jordan is the one. So I'm wondering when Simone and Damon are going to realize that they're in love with each other, so Jordan and Simone can break up so that Jordan can fall in love and be with Layla. Because I think that's what's going to happen. Layla realized that she loves Jordan, but Jordan loves Simone. And so she then retracts the emotions yet again. Preach gets arrested down to the school while working on a student art installation, traumatizing all of the young black boys at the school. Grace blames Billy. She thinks that he's too selfish for this job. And we all are starting to feel like, Grace, just be the fucking principal, ma'am. You're doing too much. Laura takes Amina to talk to Preach, and she says that she doesn't want to be alone with him. And my feelings was so hurt for Preach, okay? He explains, well, he didn't really explain anything. He just said, your mom did something bad, so I had to do something bad to save your auntie Coop, okay? And she wasn't trying to hear that. She got up like she was ready to go. Laura takes her to see Coop, and Coop explains the full story. Coop explains that Mo tried to kill me. She shot me, and then your dad came and shot her. And it was just all self-defense. So now Amina feels bad for talking to her daddy all bad and saying that she never wants to see him again and all of that shit. Laura gets a video to prove that Mo shot Coop first, because some video, basically, some drug dealer dude was on a corner, recorded the whole situation, used it to get himself out of a situation, but they only showed a portion of the video, which was when Preach shot Mo, not when Mo shot Coop a second before. So Laura went and found the first video, and they were able to get Preach on 1 year probation for having a gun, but he got justifiable homicide, so he was able to get set free. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Preach isn't going to have to deal with that Mo situation, okay? And because we feel like he didn't deserve that. We all know that at the end of the day, if there were more preachers in the inner city neighborhoods, black people would be a lot safer. Just saying. Anyway, Billy tells Grace that he wants to remain the principal and he wants to do whatever he has to do that. And she just doesn't feel like he's the one. And it seems like, I don't know, it's just getting kind of extra. Like, why are you this against Billy being the principal? He's done so many things for the kids. Why do you feel like he wouldn't be a good principal? And Spencer asked her what the real problem is, because Billy is really like one of the best people for the job. She doesn't want to admit what it is. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Billy talks to Olivia about how being the principal is more important than coaching pro ball. He thinks he may step down, but Olivia says don't lose faith and don't step down. So keep fighting. So they have the art installation that Preach was trying to put together before he got arrested. And they use that opportunity to give him his flowers. And Amina gets on stage and, says that he the king of all daddies. And I cried. I'm not going to lie. When Amina got up there and said all of those sweet things about preaching, he was just standing there in the audience watching her. I was so fucking emotional, even though this man has only been in his child's life for a few months. I was still rather emotional hearing her talk about him like that and seeing his response, because I personally feel like Preach is somebody that deserves love. And it seems like the only person that he can freely receive it from is his daughter. The one he didn't even know he had. Like, watching him listen to her speak about him was like, I don't know. It was that dude is a good actor. Because I feel like when you somebody that's always hard and shit, to watch that be lifted off of his energy when she was speaking to him, it had me all in my feelings, y'all. All in my feelings, okay? Grace still doesn't see it for Billy, okay? And Spencer says that you need to be real with yourself, Mom, and admit that this is more so about the changes in your life than it is about Billy. He thinks that she's in denial. So Coop gets arrested because this pale-looking cop has some kind of vendetta against Coop, and they want to make sure that Coop learns her lesson for lying to the police. So on campus at college, the vets versus the tight jerseys. Hold on. The vets in their tight jerseys convinced Jordan. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Back at school, everybody on the team found out that Jordan and JJ, Spence, and Asher are all living in this beach house, right? So the older football players, the veteran players on the team, the senior players on the team, basically son Jordan and convince him to have a party on, off campus at that beach house, even though they're not supposed to party and they have an early curfew. And Spencer is like, no, Jordan, I don't think we should do it. It's not a good idea. But Jordan is the type of person that likes to do the politics, right? Jordan is going to get into politics when he gets older. It's so obvious. He's definitely going to follow in Laura's footsteps. But either way, they're going to have the party, and now the young kids who are under 21 are responsible with getting booze. I'm just kind of like, really? You old ass niggas can't pay for y'all own liquor with them tight ass jerseys on and all of them beer bellies? Y'all look like y'all need to be training and not partying, but I'm going to let it go. Anyway, some photographer on campus was flirting with Olivia, all in her face and shit. And then later on in the episode, he semi-plagiarizes the research that she did down to the paper. That's how these niggas do. Flirt with you, pretend that they like you, act like y'all gonna be friends, and then steal your information from out under you, okay? So really, Olivia wasn't even really pressed about it until she got to work, and he was like, thanks so much for helping. And she was like, oh, I'm so glad that my notes were able to help you put your paper out. So glad for you. And then her boss calls her and tells her that he's going to be getting the coffee instead of her, and that she can get her notepad and come into the meeting because her boss knows that she's the one that did all of that research. So her boss is going to make sure that she gets the credit she deserves. And I was just like, oh, wow, that's so amazing. It would have been so nice to work somewhere like that. Like where my hard work and due diligence would have push me forward. Like, oh my God. Y'all, I'm such a hard worker. And I remember when I was working at the news station, I naturally go above and beyond because of the people pleasing thing and the not wanting to piss people off thing. So even if I might complain about it, the work is going to get done. Okay. And I'm dependable. So it's crazy to me, like when me and the girls were on the Ooh Ladies First panel last night having that conversation and realizing that there are actually places where people treat the employees well, even if they are young Black women. Oh my God. Okay, I can't believe it. Bondy, do you remember the all Black show with the girl that played Pepper Preach? Also plays on that show. He's the friend that's married. Yes, I've seen that show and I've seen him on there. He's a good actor. I like Preach, as an actor. So Laura told Coop to plead no contest to lying to the police and obstruction of justice. And then Laura comes in all scared saying that Coop covered up a homicide and they want to make an example out of her. And I was just like, Laura, pick an emotion, please, because you're confusing and scaring the shit out of everybody. When Coop tells Patience, she says that she needed to not use Laura because they were probably being hard on her because Laura is her lawyer and Laura used to be the district attorney and the police were mad at Laura because of what happened with Olivia writing that, not writing, but doing that podcast about how to, she actually leaked information. She leaked the tape, the body cam footage from the cops when they killed that Black girl who was sleeping in her car. So y'all know, if y'all watch the show, y'all know that caused the issue with Laura and the police department. So now Coop is saying that she shouldn't have used Laura, who has been doing this pro bono, because the cops are probably picking on her because of Laura. And Patience was like, okay, now you fucking tripping. First of all, Miss Baker is doing this shit pro bono. You ain't got no money. Second of all, you did that shit. Third of all, nobody told you to lie. Okay? Oh my God. And so now they're throwing like a little get together for Coop just in case she goes to jail. And Jamie and Asher are back fucking around. Y'all remember that Jamie was his little girlfriend that worked at his stepdad's restaurant and then she disappeared because we found out that she has lupus. So sometimes she's not doing that well. And she came back into his life. They're together now. And she has a game, but they're having a party that Coop is supposed to be having. And he was like, I need to be there for my friend. She's going through something. And the girl got mad, but it's like, girl, it's a game. This bitch might be going to jail. Like, let him be there for his friend. He can come to another one of your games. Calm down. So Spence's coach tells him to get on the scout team so he can make his abilities known to the main coach. So he shows him tape of a wide receiver that made the defense look silly. So he tells Spencer, what you need to do is get out there and make the coach's defense look silly. And that's exactly what he does, okay? And he made third string, and they have the party at the house, and the older players trash their house, bring in strippers. Jordan pays for the strippers on behalf of him and Spencer. And it was just like, yeah, Spencer gonna have a problem with that because Spencer didn't ask you to do that. Spencer isn't even there. Spencer then gets the opportunity to play in his first college game. Billy shows up to cut his jersey as an omen because back in the day when Billy played his first college game, he ripped his sleeve and then, did a whole bunch of yards. So now it's something that he does and he's going to do it for Jordan too. But he came here to do it for Spence, right? Just happy to see Billy continuing to support Spence like a father figure because that's what the fuck you are. Patience throws that party, like I said, and it's basically to watch Spencer's game, but also to have like a little get together for Coop. Layla bites Patience's head off because she invited Clay, and y'all know how Layla is trying to keep this emotional distance from Clay, even though she's been fucking him. And he asks her for more. He wants to be with her, and she dumps him. It was sad. Asher is at the party talking to Coop, and she tells him that he should have invited Jamie. But she had that game. But either way, like, stop playing and bring that girl around your friends. On Clay's way out, he tells Patience that she got a spot on this show, this tour that they're doing, I guess. And Coop says, oh, when you was gonna tell me about that? I'm over here, probably going to jail and shit, and you living your best life. I said, first of all, everything that you have been doing has been your own doing. Nobody told you to lie. Nobody told you to get caught up in street shit. You want to keep doing that, and you want Patience to be putting her life on the back burner for you like y'all are fucking married or something. Coop, you are entitled and selfish, and you need to check yourself. Okay? Check yourself. I like when Asher was like, Coop, nah. Asher is such a good friend to Coop. I love their friendship, okay? But they have an argument, girl. They gonna make up, but they had a big old argument, and I'm glad because Patience said, you want to do this? Let's do this. Patience had to get her ass together. Laura tells Coop that she's going through a diversion program instead of jail time, which is really, really great news, okay? Spencer gets a chance to get out on the field during his game, but ends up losing the ball. It was a travesty. It was embarrassing, but it wasn't the worst thing to ever happen. And Billy tells him to learn from the situation and move on like Maya. Asher tells Jamie that he wants to be with her for real, for real. And she's like, listen, you know I'm sickly, so I can't have no nigga in and out my life. Is you here or is you here? And Asher was like, I'm here. Like, girl, Asher didn't had absentee mama, an alcoholic father. Girl, he gonna be able to take care of you just fine. That's his life. Layla talks to Jordan and he tells her that, you know, she's pushing people away. And he's just stubborn and won't allow her to do it to him. But she needs to make sure that she's not building up them walls too high around herself. Okay. Spencer realizes that the reason why he probably wasn't doing too good in the game is because every time he watches tape, he watches the other players instead of himself. So now he has to start watching himself so he can see the mistakes that he makes. He's going to be a great player eventually, you know, in college and then probably pro as well. And his head is on straight. I want it so bad for him. Coop and Patience make up but break up, so there's no resentment. And I was happy about that because I feel like you need to let Patience go. You stress Patience the fuck out. Patience is a young woman, and I always feel like you can be in a relationship if that's what you want to do. But the ages of 18 to 25, really 26, 27, really need to be about you building yourself, your career, figuring out what you want to do, and pouring into yourself positively. So by the time you get to your 30s, you're a little bit, you know, better off. There are a lot of people that spend their 20s too involved in relationships. They let everything else fall to the wayside, or fucking off their life thinking that everything is about partying. And then your tired ass get to your 30s and you have nothing to show for your 20s. Okay. And I remember when I was in my 20s, I used to just always be like just so worried that I wasn't where I wanted to be in my life. It was a constant fear. And then as time went on, and things started to, you know, and I was always someone, as y'all have seen, that has stayed consistent in what I needed to do to take care of myself and for an overall goal. No matter what happened in life, the overall goal is still the overall goal. You never fall off of it. You don't stop going to work. You don't stop working towards the career or the dream because of relationships, because of people passing away. Like, no, like everything still has to keep going, period. So by the time you get to your fucking 30s, you can turn around and say, okay, at least I'm not where I used to be. Versus now I have to figure out what I'm going to do with my life because I spent most of my 20s worrying about some nigga, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Or some woman, you know? So I really do feel like Patience needs to worry about herself, and Coop needs to worry about herself as well. They too young for all of that. Coop gets herself into half of the messes that played in her life. It would be so difficult to be her partner, especially because she gets mad when her partner is doing well and she's struggling. Like that's not her decision to struggle. Asher is a very good friend. Ain't he? Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party and invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me. And the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend. I had to give it to y'all. It was on my spirit. I had to give it to y'all. It's all I hear when Coop violence is all I hear when Coop starts talking, especially because she brings a lot of the heat on herself. Production is gonna play with us, audience, with these soon to be relationships. Stop it, production, right? Fresh out of high school, doing way too much. Patience has the right name. I'll say that much. Child Patience got a whole bunch of patience. Coop has way too many adult issues. I'm about to tell you. I absolutely know what you're talking about. Portugal, I was so good when Patience and Coop went their separate ways. Wasn't we all? Wasn't we all like, thank God? Okay, wasn't we all like, oh God, because we tired. Okay. Oh, yeah. Say we made it from the bottom, now we hit, girl. Oh, yeah. Oh, and I did everybody that you do. The biggest gift now, the biggest. Oh, thank you for being my friend. Oh, yeah. Something how you do the road, child. I fucked it up, but y'all know what I'm here for. Jokes. Okay. Shit. Okay. We're moving on to homecoming. We're moving on to homecoming, you guys. Okay. It's the last show. All right. So I can finally go get my fucking nails done, child. Every day I've been saying I'm gonna go. But this day I mean it. Okay. Homecoming. Jordan and his beard visits. Sexy ass. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Jordan is definitely giving everything it's supposed to give in the college years. Okay, like love did it did, love did it did. He look good. All right, he look real good. JR's dad is there for homecoming as well. He's doing a lot to show support for Damon, and then JR's dad flakes on this baseball game that they had tickets to. So that left JR feeling away. Cam says that he has to have surgery in order to play football. It's kind of unnecessary. And Keisha tries to talk to him about the risk. Like, how about you not get the surgery and just choose something else to do with your life, because the surgery can cause worse complications. It's a low risk that you'll have an aneurysm, but at the end of the day, how about we just not have a job that has us running full speed into people? That could help, you know what I'm saying? But he blew her off like she didn't know what she was talking about, and she felt disrespected. Child, they gonna do this to each other over and over again. Child, they're old make up the breakup ass couple. Amara, we find out, took a semester off, and one of her ex-classmates outs her. I'm sorry, y'all. That my note got messed up, so I'm trying to see what my note was supposed to say. But either way, the classmate, because it's homecoming, right? So everybody's coming down for homecoming. This old classmate puts Amara on blast in front of Simone about taking a semester off, and she didn't know she took a semester off. Okay, and y'all know that Simone and JR think that the reason why Amara and Coach Marcus probably broke up, took time off, whatever, is because she possibly got pregnant with Coach's baby, and that baby can be Damon. Or Damon can be the child that JR believes to be his sibling that disappeared, you know, and that they still have a picture of. So something's going on and we don't know what it is. It's not right and it's not okay. Jordan finds out from Amara that Simone had a panic attack, and now Jordan doesn't trust her. He's pissed. He also notices how close Damon is to her. He want to fuck your wife, and that's just what it is. Simone competes with Thea against alumni, right? And the alumni is Thea's grandmother and her grandma homegirl, okay? The grandmas whip Thea and Simone's ass in tennis. I was just like, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Jordan shows up and tells, hold up. Jordan shows up and she tells him about Damon possibly being her cousin, to which Jordan is relieved. But then when Simone talks to Amara, she finds out that Damon is not family and they can possibly still fuck Jordan. So be worried. You should still have to be worried about Damon fucking on your girl. Okay. When Simone told Amara about how she felt Damon might have been her and Coach Marcus's kid, Amara laughed. But as soon as Simone walked out of the door, the look on her face told me, you lying. Like, it made me just feel like either, you know, it's not Damon, but there might have still been a baby. Like, I don't know what the fuck going on, but Amara's face made me feel like she lied to Simone. So something is amiss, okay? Something is amiss right here. Damon gets Cam to play baseball against the alumni, right? When one of the players got too fucked up the night before. JR couldn't focus during the game because of the shit that's going on with his dad. He blames it on Damon's pitching, and they have this, you know, blow up on the field. They talk after, and JR goes off on his dad, and they make up and play. Okay, I'm sorry, hold up. They talk after. JR goes off on his dad. Right. So like they stop playing for a minute. JR said some slick shit to his daddy, like fuck out my face, nigga, whatever, something like that. Then him and Damon talk, they make up, and then they get out there and play a better game together, right? Amara asked Coach Marcus why he broke it off with her. Apparently, he went into the minors, came back after he left the minors, and just broke up with her and never really gave her a reason why. Cam decides that he's not going to get the surgery and apologizes to Keisha for being an ass yet again. And Damon tells Simone that he kept looking at the alumni trying to see if he saw his face anywhere. So now he wants to look for his birth parents. And Simone jealous? Simone looked jealous when Damon was walking away with his new little girlfriend who's pretending like she didn't know who he was. She's a groupie. They're all calling her a groupie. And I think why they're calling her a groupie is because she's with him, not because she likes him, but because he that dude on the baseball team. And there's, a probability of him making a lot of money and all of this shit. And JR finally talks to his dad, and basically the news that his dad had for him, and the reason why his dad was acting so weird this entire trip is because his dad and his mom are getting a divorce. Okay, so we get into the next episode, which is the blackout episode. JR did not take the news of the divorce well, so he went around on campus during the blackout getting drunk and high and decided to quit the baseball team because he's spiraling out of control. All right. Thea is being pushed to go on a blind date by her grandmother that she doesn't want to go on because she doesn't know how to date. Simone is, of course, always offering to help Thea, even though Thea stay telling her, girl, we is not friends. But she decides that she's going to try and help her. When she tries to give her some dating advice, she gets caught up with this situation with JR and ends up having to pawn Thea off on some of the other kids, and that made her feel ostracized when they were basically telling her how they expect you to put out if they pay for dinner, and how you may have to go Dutch on a meal, just all of the things that boys can think when they're dating girls. Okay, and it just kind of felt like a lot, and she ain't cool with them like that, so she just wasn't feeling it, and she blamed Simone for that. Yeah, she's very socially awkward. I feel bad for Thea as well sometimes, but I also feel like people use them being socially awkward as a way for them to make people feel bad about checking them when they act like a bitch. Like, Thea, you walk around treating people like shit. You have to learn how to be socially awkward and then apologize to people when you come off rude, instead of standing in it like you meant to be rude, and then when they're rude to you thereafter, you want to act like, oh, it's not my fault and they just don't like me. Yeah, they don't like you because you're mean. Like, stop being mean. It's very, very simple. Damon is worried about JR, but also jealous of JR because of his friendship with Simone. Simone tries to talk to JR herself, but the convo leads to hiding stuff from Damon, and that triggers JR because everything is about Damon. His daddy made everything about Damon. Now, even though he's the one that's crashing and burning, you still coming up to him talking about how we don't want Damon to get upset when he finds out we've been hiding everything from him about, speculating on who his parents can possibly be. Everybody, and I mean everybody, Nathaniel, Damon, Simone, everybody was trying to gather JR, but he wasn't listening. So Damon ended up calling JR's dad and letting him know that his son was down to the school spiraling and shit. Marcus admits to Amara that her sister Tina said Marcus wasn't good enough for her. And when he was playing in the minor leagues, he was pressured into doping. And he did it one time, had a bad reaction, and the shame of it made him realize that Tina was right and he couldn't face Amara. So he couldn't face her. He broke up with her. And that's basically what happened. I said, you gave up the relationship you had with a woman you love over shame? Who? I don't know what to say about that. But he ends up putting some snacks on that nasty ass gym floor, and then they end up fucking in his office at some point, which Amara says that she viewed as closure, but she's lying to herself. She's just scared that he's going to hurt her again since he seems to run instead of have conversations. Okay. Simone tries to Simone decides to share with Thea, Keisha, and Nate that she has a son who is coming to visit her the following week. So she knows how it feels to be ostracized and judged like Thea. And Damon overhears the conversation and gets upset because she didn't tell him, even though he asked her what type of mother gives up their baby, which he didn't know felt personal to Simone at the time. Okay. I just kind of don't like the fact that Damon is just so self-centered, so selfish. Everything is about him. The team is about him. The parental shit about him. His friendships with everybody about him. Simone does not have to disclose that to you if she doesn't want to. You walking away like that girl did something to you because she didn't tell you she had a kid, boy, fuck you. That's not like, what? What? So she follows behind him and tells him about himself. And it was all good until she admitted that her and JR have been speculating that he may be JR's brother. And now the nigga mad all over again. I said, Damon, get out of my face because you on your period. Keisha and Cam are tiring us out. They made up. And then she had the opportunity to dance in a tryout for Normani's music video. And she tried to punk out, but then Cam confronted her and she decided to go ahead and do it. And so he Hold on. I'm sorry, because I don't want to skip anything. He punked out when Cam confronts her. She says, just because he doesn't have football doesn't mean he needs to be all in her business. That's what I didn't want to forget. She watches herself perform the choreography and ends up deciding to go ahead and try out. So she apologized to Cam, and then Cam set up this whole little set with lights, and then he sang Unthinkable by Alicia Keys in like a cappella with just some drums. If we do the unthinkable, would it make us go crazy? Oh, would it be so beautiful? Either way, I'm saying, if you ask me, I'm ready. If you ask me, I'm ready. Moment of honesty. Someone's gotta take the lead tonight. Who's it gonna be? I'm gonna sit right here and tell you all that comes to me. If you got something to say, you should say it right now. You should say it right now. Hey, you give me a feeling that I never felt before, and I deserve it. You know I deserve it. It's becoming something that's impossible to ignore, and I can't take it. I was wondering, baby. Oh, that was my shit. Anyway, I'm gonna stop. I probably was off key and everything, bitch. Fucking the song up like Alicia Keys be doing sometimes, but that's not my fault. Whatever. You either enjoy it, you fuck with it, or you don't. Or you don't. But the moment was adorable. Okay, he did his thing. I was low-key more impressed with his singing than I was with her dancing, just because it was kind of more of a like video girl thing than actual dancing. I don't know if it was just me, but I still thought that the whole situation was beautiful and I loved it. But I'm tired of Cam and Keisha with the back and forth. You got me going in circles. All right. At the end of the episode, Thea meets Kevin, who her grandma was trying to hook her up with. Child, Kevin was cute. And she told Kevin, listen, okay, first things first, I plan on playing professional tennis. Nobody and nothing is going to stop me. So know that, all right? And I don't mind splitting the tab, but I'm not putting out. And if none of those things are an issue, I would like to go out with you sometime. He was like, how about right now? And it was like, okay, cute. Oh my God, I love it. Grandma was right. Y'all gonna stop playing with grandma, okay? Y'all gonna stop playing with grandma. Grandma know what she be doing when she sees somebody, okay? So moving on to the next episode, apparently Keisha made it to Nomrani's video. Good for you, girl. Damon looked himself up on a Georgia State adoption registry, and there was no record of his name. Simone's baby comes to visit, and then her mom pops up all unannounced. JR goes home and finds out that his parents are packing up the house because they found an aggressive buyer and they're selling the house. I'm like, how the fuck y'all gonna not tell him about that? Talking about they just grew apart. They lying about something. When JR's dad finds out he quit the team, we find out that when he was growing up, he had aplastic anemia, and he really fought through to be strong. But really, he fought through to play baseball because that was your thing, and he wanted to bond with you. Simone's mom is back wanting to spend time with her. After popping up, she apologizes for not supporting Simone wanting to go to Princeton because it was, a black school and not a PWI. But she was wrong, especially when she came and found out how many great African American people have gone to Princeton. Simone hugs her and, is grateful that her mom is finally not acting like an asshole, all for a photographer to snap a picture and come out of the wings and basically say, oh my God, I love good candidates. Okay. She's a photographer for the Atlanta Law Review. So now Simone feels like this was all for show. This was all so you can make a good impression on everybody else. This was not about reconnecting with me. And her mom was like, it's just that this is a really big deal for me. Can you really just stay? Listen, I can fix the situation with your room and board if you stay and help me with this article. And it was just like, bitch, you should help your daughter with room and board because you just realized that this school is good for her and you shouldn't be withholding financial support if you don't have to. Simone said, mama, you ain't shit, and walked away. Then we got Santiago. So JR quit. And so Santiago replaces him as the catcher. And he and Damon are not blending. They are not blending. It's not happening. Damon's mom shows up there to support him as just a mom and not a momager, right? She can tell that something is wrong because he's still mad at JR and Simone, but he doesn't want to talk about it. He just feels like they betrayed him and he can't be friends with no betraying ass people, okay? But his mom gave him really good advice that, sometimes things get rough with family, but you shouldn't let one part mess up all the rest of it. So Santiago and Damon, because they can't stop fighting, get instructed to go and meet with some of the kids that are fans of the team. And the kids want to be baseball players. So they're asking, what do they have to do in order to, be able to play at the school? And how much are they getting paid now? And they just basically tell them that they need to focus on school and they need to really be serious about being there for the team. And it's not about how much money someone, is making. It's really about the school and the education, right? This is when they realize that they can do this because they have more important shit to do. We find out that Santiago, his dad, he came over here and left his parents in a country that he's from, which I forgot. So he's trying to go pro so he can pay to bring his dad to America. And when Damon hears that, knowing that Damon is trying to find his parents, they kind of bond over that, even though he didn't share that with him, but it endeared Santiago to him. So they make a greater effort when they play together the following day, which we'll talk about, okay? So when Simone tells her mom in front of Amara that she doesn't want anything from her or to do with her, Tina admits that her career isn't where she wanted it to be ever since she dropped out of college a year early. And Amara was like, you the one that wanted to take a sabbatical. Nobody told you to do that. And she was like, girl, I took a year off from school because after mom died or dad died, child, whichever one it was, one of their parents died. They couldn't afford to put both of them through school. She was going to an Ivy League PWI and Amara is going to a HBCU. That's at least $20,000, girl. Okay. So they couldn't afford it. So the older sister took the lick. All right. And of course, Amara didn't know that. Simone didn't know that. And now Simone feels like, so you can make all the sacrifices for Amara, but you won't even pay for my room and board? Whoo, that would have pissed me off too. Yeah, that photographer got on my fucking nerves, especially when she was like, wait, you have a son? Bitch, if you don't get out of my face. That mama was wrong for that. Anyway, at the game, Santiago asked Damon to go against the coach's wishes for a last play. And Damon does it. They end up winning. They're going to have to run some laps, but they ended up winning. And, it shows that Santiago and Damon can actually work together. Y'all that work out today got my motherfucking hip hurting, girl. Ugh, cracking and everything. Simone watches her baby Shay, okay, because Shay and her adoptive mother came in town and the babysitter flaked. So she was like, I can watch the baby. Girl, I don't know why you did that. Keisha and Nate tried. They tried, but it was a travesty. So they left her to her own devices. And then Damon comes over and saves the day because apparently the baby liked Damon. I don't know why. But Damon apologizes to Simone and she tells him to give his mom a chance. So he actually does talk to his mom about wanting to find out who his biological parents are. And she says that his father handled the adoption. Apparently, her and his father are no longer together. So they would have to go and have a conversation with him about the adoption. And I'm like, can we do that now? The fuck? Call him. And why is it that he the one with all the answers, Sway? Make it make sense. Okay? And it was a closed adoption, but you don't know nobody's name. You the mama. Why don't you know any of these things? Girl, anyway. So then y'all seen how Damon mama went go talk to Coach Marcus. The music that they were playing made me feel like Coach Marcus and Damon mama might eventually hunch. Okay, they might eventually hunch. Keisha tells her dad, who comes into her dorm room all pissed off because he found out she dropped all of her med school classes or whatever. And she's like, I want to be a dancer. I don't care what you're talking about. He was like, dancing is a hobby. She was like, nigga, say that to Debbie Allen. Okay. There are a whole bunch of people that she named, but specifically Debbie Allen. Okay. And, he was just like, this would be such a disappointment to your mother. And y'all know that Keisha's mom died of cancer. And she promised her mom on her deathbed that she would be a doctor. So now they've been holding her to that since she was like 11 years old. Like, please stop. Please stop. That lady should be happy that her daughter is happy and healthy and successful in any regard. Why the fuck does she have to be a doctor in order for y'all to be happy for her? And that daddy, how dare you throw her mother's death in her face like that? You ain't shit. You ain't shit for that. That was so fucked up to me that he threw that in her face. Oh my God. Piece of shit daddy. Anyway, Nate tells Cam when he was down to the gym, okay, that he better be sure how he feels about Keisha. Because Nathaniel does not want to have to whip anybody's ass. I said, and I believe Nathaniel. I absolutely do. Okay. So Cam goes to see Keisha and tells her that he wants to take her out on a real date. Girl, why she flaked on him? Why she flaked on Cam? That's why I said they're going to keep doing this back and forth. Watch the next episode. She going to be apologizing to him for ghosting him. I was like, y'all work on my nerves. Okay. Simone's mom says that she finally realized that her disappointment in Amara made her control Simone more than she should have. And now she knows she has to stop. And she wants to because she wants to have a relationship with Simone. And Simone says the only rule that I have is that you have to have a relationship with Baby Shay. I also want to know why they had a little girl playing Baby Shay. Baby Shay is supposed to be a boy, yet y'all had earrings in that baby ear the entire time. Like, what is going on? Who's putting earrings in boys' ears this young? I don't know. Damon's dad has Alzheimer's. Damn, that early? That's tough. How you hold that to someone, let alone an 11-year-old, right? I was just like, how y'all gonna hold her to that? Mama died when she was like 11, 12 years old, I think. And you've been holding her to that ever since then? Like, that's fucked up. But that was basically everything that went down, you guys. Oh my God, I did 3 episodes of 3 shows in an hour and 30 minutes. That's so cool. I'm glad I did. Because I wanted to come and talk to y'all about the things because the show is good. I'm glad that Homecoming actually impressed me with those last 3 episodes because I was about to give up, girl. Yeah, the mama hiding something for sure. Damon's dad, you're right. I said that. Nate Wiggs be laid with her strong self. Do you be saying, listen, okay? The muscle definition. I was trying to figure out if Shay was a girl or a boy. It was very confusing for all of us. It was very confusing for all of us. All right. So now that I'm all caught up, okay, I'm about to go so I can go get my nails done. And I'm going to start working on Bel Air for y'all. And y'all know that'll be released to my members on the website first. So I'm going to try to do what I got to do? I think 5 through 10. And they just had the last episode. So I might split that up into maybe like 2 podcasts or something like that if I can, instead of doing per episode, just so I can like get through it. and I'll post them on the website, and I'll let y'all know. All right, y'all. I love y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for coming through. I appreciate everybody, and I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all Friday. And y'all know if something happened on these streets, I'll come and talk to y'all later.